So I'm going to try to attempt to make some of these survival candles with wax and cardboard. But they say that the tin, these tuna cans, have a plastic lining in them. So we're going to see if we can burn them out with a little bit of gasoline. Well, not 100%, but for the most part, looks like there's some still in that crack around through in the edges, but theory says that it doesn't burn all the way down there anyway, so let's just get to making them. Okay, so we got our can. And we're also going to try to make one out of an Altoids can. How good that turns out, I don't know. We'll find out. So what we want to do is find our height for our cardboard. So what we're going to do is we know that our Altoids can is about 3/4 of an inch. Our other one's about an inch and a little less than 1 1/4 inches. So what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and do the Altoids can. We'll mark it 3/4, 3/4, and we'll just cut several strips. I don't really think it has to be perfect. Shorter would probably be better than longer, for the fact that you wouldn't want it sticking way out of the can. But so that's what we're going to do. We're going to start cutting strips and get these strips cut up and see if we can fit them inside this can and go from there. Just start coiling this thing up. I guess you want a decent coil. Doesn't have to be too horribly tight, but some people say like a honey bun, cinnamon roll, whatever. Now this one's not going to be perfectly round in this because we're trying to, this Altoids can of course is square, rounded, I don't know. So we're just going to keep spinning this around so we can see if we can get this to fit inside here. And we'll show you what it looks like in just a second. And this is what I've come up with. Got it coiled in there pretty nice. Some of these edges I might try to shove some in there to fill it up. But hopefully once we get the wax melted and poured inside here, we should be able to seal it up and take it with us. And we'll show the wax filling here in a little bit. I'm going to get started on this other one. We're going to take the bigger strips and we're just going to do the same thing. And we'll show you it finished in just a second. Okay, another thing I forgot to mention is I bought some of these wicks for candles. And what I'm going to do is put them in the center. If I can get this back out. So that way we have something to light. Now you don't have to go buy all new stuff. Of course it's supposed to be, you can use crayons, you can use old wax, you can use old candles, this, that, and the other. But if you take some old candles and you got some wicks left over from the old candles that didn't burn all the way, you can take and plant them in there several different places. And what that'll do is help you light your stove when the time comes. Now I'm going to be using beeswax because I heard and read that it was a better wax to burn, cleaner. It doesn't really matter if you're using these for a stove. I'm just trying to tighten it up a little bit and put a little bit more in certain places, but it doesn't matter if you're using it for a stove, really, I guess, what kind of wax you use. But since I want to have these for when I'm camping and attempt to use them inside the tent for not only cooking but for heat, I'm going to try a cleaner burning wax. But there's one. We have the Altoids, which I'm going to tighten it up a little bit more. I did put some on the edges. I want to put a wax in there, a wick in there, and do this one as well, and we'll show you melting the wax. Just bought some beeswax. Let's see how this works. I'm going to put it in this aluminum pan here, put it in boiling water, and see if I can melt it inside that pan. smaller chips is going to melt a lot easier than big ones. So let me break this up and we'll be right back. Get it over here. Alright, so I cut some pieces up, and this other pan is just floating inside the other one, and it's melting pretty good so far. Alright, so it's boiling up. I got a nice bit, but all I'm doing is taking this machete, it's not very sharp anyway, but and just shaving pieces off. Of course, if you know, you put the bigger chunks in there, it takes forever to melt. And that's what I got going so far. So it's melting down pretty nicely. A few more minutes and we'll pour them into a candle or stove and see what happens. Alright, all this is melted down pretty nicely. So I'm going to attempt to do this without burning myself. As far as I know, you want to fill this whole thing up with wax. And it takes a lot more than you think it would take. I shaved off a real good bit of this block and it's still going. Okay, we're going to let that one dry and melt some more wax. Alright, so we got our second batch melted. Take about 15 minutes or so, cutting up and everything. You can see the other one's starting to harden up. We're going to attempt to pour this one into the Altoids. Go ahead and take the leftovers and just pour it into this one. And then boil some more up and we'll be back. Well, this is my finished product. I don't know if it's fully hard on the inside, but the outsides have hardened up. The Altoids can closes up pretty nicely. The wicks that I have in here, they just fold over out of the way. Just light and go. So I'm going to take this Altoids can with me. Camping this weekend, or this week. See how it works out. I'll probably do another video burning one of these, see how well it burns. See if I can boil water with it and see how long it would take. And yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching.